Is Jimmy Butler the new Andre Iguodala? Is he Iggy 2.0? I don't know about that, but they still haven't beaten anybody that matters. But it was a very cool thing that happened at Chase Center just yesterday, and that was Andre Iguodala's number being retired by the Golden State Warriors. One All-Star game in 19 years. It is hard to look up in any gym's rafters and see a player with a less decorated career than Andre Iguodala had for a guy who got his jersey retired. But to look at all of Andre Iguodala's career, you'll never understand him. Looking at what he meant to the Golden State Warriors, you sort of start to get it. You know, Iguodala was a reality that became a little bit more of a myth and a legend at the end than he was really a helpful component of a winning operation. It was deserved. And the thing that should make everyone agree that Andre Iguodala deserved to get his number retired by the Golden State Warriors is look at how much he meant to Steph, Clay, and Draymond. I mean, that to me, normally, when you retire a player's jersey, you're doing it because there's a huge demand in your fan base for that to happen. Your fan base wants to see this player separated from all the other players that they used to root for and be honored in a very, very special way. It felt like Andre Iguodala's number going into the rafters meant more to the franchise and the players than it did the fans. It really did feel that way. Very unique player. There's no doubt about it. You're not going to find a retired number. And there's been some really bad names and numbers retired throughout Michael Jordan's number 23 is retired by the Miami Heat, for goodness sakes. Why? Never played. There's some weird. Why is that guy there? Well, he must have meant something to this organization. Okay. If you watch Iguodala at the beginning there, especially, oh man, he meant a lot. I mean, who had faster hands than Andre Iguodala? He would fire those things like six shooters and come away with steals, and he would just gaffle guys up. Iguodala, at his peak with the Warriors, right at the beginning, was really a changer. I mean, he did. He instantly added credibility to the franchise. He instantly added credibility and I think confidence to the franchise because Steph, Clay, and Draymond were like, man, this guy could have gone a lot of places. He chose to come here. You know, he must really think we're on to something. And that first season, you know, he was on that Warriors 13-14 team that lost in the second round to the Clippers. That was a Clippers team that was supposed to redefine what the West Coast dynasty was going to be. That Clippers team was supposed to be incredible. And then they ran into the Golden State Warriors. They got past them one year, but after that, it was all over for the LA Clippers, and it would become the Warriors' dynastic run. He was with the Warriors for 8 seasons. Remember, they let him go. They couldn't afford to keep him around, cap casualty. And he was with Miami for 2 years. But with the Warriors, over his 8 seasons, they won 4 titles, and he was really involved in 2 of them, kind of involved in 1 more of them, and then hardly involved at all at the end. As a matter of fact, you could say that, he played 8 seasons with the Warriors. It was really more like 6 seasons with the Warriors because he only played in 39 games over his final 2 seasons, and he was never around. I mean, he was, you'd constantly hear about, Steve Kerr saying, well, Andre, he's such a sounding board in the locker room. Well, yeah, you also need a player. You also need somebody who's going to out there and give you minutes for taking up this roster spot. Andre Iguodala, I think, bordered on myth more than a reality at the end, but it was a myth that the players liked. Again, Andre Iguodala meant more to the guys in the locker room than the fans who were in the stands. It's the honest to God's truth. Iguodala getting that finals MVP didn't do more good for Iguodala than it damaged Steph Curry's reputation. But you remember the debate. Nick Wright would be like, well, Curry's never won a finals MVP. And then I'd be like, well, I really didn't know that was a prerequisite for the conversation of greatness. It feels like we're just making that up now. I thought it should have been Steph's. And again, it haunted Steph until he won it against Boston. His fourth title with the Warriors, again, he was a ceremonial head of state more than he was a player who gave the Warriors minutes that mattered. But he mattered to the team. He mattered to Kerr. He mattered to Bob Myers. He mattered to Joe Lacob. He mattered to the team's credibility. And, in a world of you can let things upset you or you can just say, okay, I get it. Andre Iguodala getting his number retired. I mean, to me, number retirement should only be for like first ballot Hall of Famers. Andre Iguodala will, I guess, be a Hall of Famer. But, the guy's 19-year career's averages are 11-5-4. Now, I know that doesn't give you the full picture because he was a hell of a defender. But 11-5-4, it normally doesn't get a Hall of Fame consideration or jersey retired. But, when you play at your best, when all eyes are on you, obviously it matters an awful lot. Is Jimmy Butler the new Andre Iguodala? Is he Iggy 2.0? I don't know about that, but, 5-1 since the trade is really nice. They still haven't played anybody. I mean, really, they haven't. They beat a depleted Dallas team. They beat a depleted Milwaukee team. They beat a depleted Bulls team. They're not taking on the best of the best. They win in Sacramento. The Kings suck. So like they still haven't beaten anybody that matters. But there is no doubt that the vibes are right and confidence is high. And there's no other sport where the vibes and the confidence probably matter as much as they do in basketball. This team is bouncy. For the first time since they walked off the court in Boston champions, this team is bouncy. This team's got a good vibe about it. They're happy, it seems, for the first time since Jordan Poole got punched. Kinda. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But this is a team. It's got 25 games left on the year. They're now 3 games over 500 at 30-27 on the season. They've got Charlotte at home tomorrow on Tuesday. And then they go out for a 5-game road trip. Orlando, Philadelphia, Charlotte, New York, Brooklyn. Orlando, not good. Philadelphia, awful. Charlotte, you're going to get 2 bites at that apple in the next 2 weeks. You can get fat on that. The Knicks, depends on which Jalen Brunson shows up. If bad boy Jalen Brunson shows up, buckle in. You're in for a game. If anything less than that shows up, the Knicks are beatable. Brooklyn, stink. I mean, 5-1 over their next 6 games is not unthinkable. It's a lot of success on the road, but it's not unthinkable. And, since they're 5-1 right now, that would give them a 10-2 record over their last 12 games if they were able to do that. And that is the direction any team that's about to fancy itself a contender needs to be traveling in. Tim Kawakami will tell you when things are good and when things aren't good. And right now, Tim, I think what he wrote here is totally spot on, about the good vibes around this team right now. He said both things. The immortalizing of Iguodala and the celebration of Jimmy Butler were in the air at Chase Center, and both things brought out the kind of roars that have been mostly absent from Chase Center this season. Both of these things are very important. They're 5-1 with Butler after Sunday's blowout victory over an injury-riddled Mavericks team. See, even Kawakami's telling you, slow your roll down there a little bit, and there's a bad Mavs team right now. But they have officially now done what they needed to do on this little stretch. They've nudged up within a half a game of 8-seed Dallas, and they're just 1.5 games behind the 6th-seeded Clippers. So it's good. And beyond it being good, let me tell you, it's entertaining. The Warriors are playing some good and good-looking basketball. I'm really liking Moses Moody getting a shot to start. I am really liking Brandin Podziemski after spending most of this year not being really impressed by him at all. It seems like Butler has allowed everybody on this team to sort of find its own level. And it's been good. You look at the way that Gui Santos now fits in. You look at the way that Quentin Post is fitting in. All of this good vibes and better basketball is happening without even Jonathan Kuminga being back in the room. And that might be the cherry on top of really changing the temperature of this year. Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.